Thanks for the great turnout again. So we have another exciting night. You get to listen to me for a little bit with some slides that hopefully will be entertaining as well as informative. And then we have a wonderful guest speaker here tonight, which I'll introduce later. He's going to give us a good presentation on galaxies and formation and evolution type material. So we can get right going here. Hopefully everybody is seen here. First of all, how about a round of applause to everyone here? I'm sure everyone saw the announcements and email, but another feather in our cap with the recognition by Astronomy Magazine for the LTP Library Telescope Program. It's just amazing to me how much that program has taken off, and it's due to all the efforts of everyone here, the dedication, the passion of people's desire to promote astronomy, recognized at some of the highest levels, and it's just an awesome feeling, and I'm very grateful to be part of the organization that's done that. So thank you. Getting right into our agenda, got some business things to take care of, and then some things news and noteworthy. We'll go through some of those will be brief, and others will be more detailed. Of course, our annual astronomy shorts. So start thinking about the quick little one-liners or what you would like to share with the club. Think about if there's anything you want to bring up. You know, if you have some burning questions you want to ask or some comments or feedback, we'll have our section there for you to do that. And then our extended networking period. And then finally our evening program. Mr. Greg Snyder is here from Harvard. He's very close to receiving his PhD, going through some of those final steps. And he'll be speaking to us tonight on some of the research work that he's been doing for his PhD work. So we're very grateful. And thanks to John Bishop. This is one of the things that John had organized prior to this year in getting some guest speakers here. Okay, David, you're on.
All right, I'm on. Look, there's numbers here. You can see them. You can read these numbers, right? Started with 13,046.65, and we got membership come in of 180 donations, mainly the Library Telescope Program, the part that they give to us, $995, and bank interest from 97 cents. And this is Library Telescope payout to Cornerstones of Science. Cineric is plowing. Optic Planet, Barnes & Noble, OBT, and ProVantage are all different things for the Library Telescope Program, like the little headlight things and books and eyepieces and that kind of stuff. Rackspace Cloud is our website. I don't know what GoDaddy is. That just started showing up.
GoDaddy is the
That's our website.
That's the DNS registration for our website.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we have DNS registration for the website. And Patrick Burke paid twice, so I reimbursed him his membership again. And so we have current checking balance of $12,226.72 and petty cash of $100, and so that comes to $12,326.72. And the EOC's part is $5407.63, and we're up to 128 members.
So, David, have we had the insurance payments come in yet?
Insurance payment was last month.
Okay.
It was I think 1546 or something like that. It went up about $150.
Okay.
We have sinkhole coverage.
We do not have sinkhole coverage that I'm aware of. I will review the policy for it.
We don't have rock coverage either.
One thing I'll point out for the benefit of our new members, part of our membership fee goes directly into the EOC fund.
EOC is?
Educational Outreach Committee. So this is what funds all of our efforts that cost us things. So like if we work with MSDC, we've also taken the money there for some of the Library Telescope Program items. So just so everybody understands, when we see EOC share, that's where the portion of your membership goes directly to fund those activities. John, I saw your hand up.
Yes, did we ever get a report on repairs needed for WIFOS or a schedule for that?
Still in progress.
Still in progress.
We've asked Joe Derrick, and he's given us some estimate, but he really, with the weather right now, he's waiting for spring.
Okay.
So
sadly, the new members aren't on there. They're on the bottom under current members. There's like 5 of them.
Oh, did I forget to?
Rex Gallagher is one of them who gave us the donation.
That's me right here.
All right, Rex Gallagher. There you
Welcome.
And just so I mentioned, I'm a Kiwi. I call myself Kiwi man. I'm a Kiwi ethnic from New Zealand. So I'm from down under. I'm used to looking at the sky and seeing, the Southern Cross and things like that.
Ooh.
But I have been here for 23 years, so I can sort of see
Excellent.
Welcome.
I think,
We have several members here that have gone to the OSCI event in Australia within the last 5 years, so we should talk offline about that. But that's
are there
a
any
wonderful
new members I
experience.
missed?
Yeah, that was just about to ask the same question. Thank you.
Okay,
Any other new
sorry.
members here? So David, did I cut off part of your report here then? by
Yes,
accident?
there's the
Okay.
new members are under the current members.
So they're down here.
Yeah, down there, about where the eraser tray is.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Either that or maybe it's the resolution, but maybe I could check during break. So, but there are no other new members here tonight, right?
I'm gonna buy a tablet. I'm gonna do this off the tablet in the future, so.
High tech. Let's do it. Okay. Any other questions on Treasurer's report? All righty. So, our news and noteworthy. So a couple quick things. Bill Steele has been our membership chair for, oh gosh, probably the last 5 or 6 years. He's been in that position a while. And Bill just wants to take a break, so he's asked to for someone else to take over the position. So I reluctantly accepted his request because Bill has done a great job for us. But I wanted to talk about that here because this is an opportunity for someone who might want to step up and do some work. Membership committee is important, and notice I said the word committee. So if you're thinking about it, this is not something you would have to do by yourself. So committee, by definition, is more than one person. There's a chair to that committee. That's what Bill was doing. But this is something that easily 2-3 people could do. One person would just be the chair. But I am looking for someone who's willing to take on those responsibilities. And we can talk specifically, if you have ideas, if you have things you would like to do in that position, let's talk about it. It's not an elected position, it's an appointed position, but I want to open it up to people who are potentially interested before I have to make a decision and then go out and ask someone if there's no volunteers. So think about that, talk to me if you're interested. We can talk about the responsibilities and expectations and most importantly what ideas you would have in that. But it's a very important position because as we have new members come in, we want to be able to help our new members, sort of walk them through the process, be there to answer questions for them. That's really what membership committee is about. Okay, guest speakers, we have Mr. Snyder here tonight. We've got another person lined up for April and in September. So I've got some work to do for the rest of those. So I want to combine those as per we had talked about at prior meetings. I want to get both a combination of our members and as well as people from the outside membership to come speak to us. Ted put out an email about supporting the New England Fall Astronomy Festival. Ted, can you talk to us a few minutes about that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. That's the folks at UNH who are co-sponsors for the New England Fall Astronomy Festival in September have arranged for Shorty's Restaurant in Manchester to donate 15% of all money that's spent on food directly to the fund that sponsors that, pays for the tents and so on, and the chair rentals and so on. So if you're into Mexican food, I know I am, I'm going to Shorty's on the 4th of April, and I'll simply enjoy a nice meal and then put your receipt in the envelope that says NEFAF, and they'll send us a check. Nice way to make a donation, and you get to go out to dinner.
And Ted did send detailed email about this as well, in case any of you missed it.
Are you planning to combine it to big tables or is this meant to be?
No, just you can go for lunch or for dinner. So whatever time you want to. If folks want to get together and go as a group, that's fine too. I think they asked if we came in a group of more than 6, call in advance just so they could put a table together.
Why don't you put that idea up for circulation so we can do that?
Question?
Don't know if anybody remembers me, Steve Forbes, the younger. Speaking of April 4th, if you guys want to have a little bit more fun, I did some calculations on my planetarium program and discovered that comet Pan-STARRS is going to be passing right through M31 on April 4th.
After dinner.
It's going to be hard to get though. It's going to be really low in the horizon. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to see it.
Yeah, you can
It'll be tough.
two times, once in the evening on the 4th and once in the morning about 3:30 on the 5th. So.
Yep. So it's going to be a tough one.
Okay, thank you. The other quick point here to mention is I have scheduled a Q2 officer meeting. We're going to meet on the 13th. So I just want to let everybody know that. If there is anything specific that's on people's mind you want us to talk about, send me an email, let me know, and I'll make sure we talk about it. And then for what I want to do for the rest of this part is these are the things I want to talk more about, just in terms of a deeper dive. So one of the things I've been working on, which I talked about in January, is I really want to try to get us some potential web conferencing capabilities, both on the web using screen sharing as well as audio. That research has not gone as well as I've wanted to. Tom and I looked into a company called Infinity, but I think I understand why the name was. Their cost was pretty high, much more than I was expecting, and certainly well beyond our capabilities. I still have a Lotus Live evaluation going on. There is no, I work for IBM, but there is no discount for a nonprofit. But the way that works, and what was, first of all, what was really disappointing to me is we don't have the integrated voice. So when I use it at work, and I use it every day, I have an ID to do the web conference, but I have an AT&T 800 number I have to call in to be the host. And I can tell you from that, it cost IBM about $80 a month for that's me unlimited web conferencing. But this is IBM. You imagine a huge discount they're probably getting by standardizing on that with AT&T. Because I found out through some other vendors, through audio, and I'm getting a little ahead here, but in terms of the web conferencing itself, I could go into my Lotus Live account right now that any one of us could create, and it would cost us $5 per month for unlimited conferencing. So one person can start it, up to 199 can join. But that's no audio. The audio portion we have to do separate. And I looked into a couple vendors, and again, it was very discouraging. The model that I typically found was the call per minute, per person. So in one example here, they said, yep, it's 5 cents a minute per user. So do the calculation. If you have, say, 50 people on the call for 1 hour, that's $150. There's no way I'm going to go to the board and try to do that. It's just not possible. So
Skype have a combination that you're looking for?
Well, so that leads kind of to the last thing here. I'm very concerned about the audio costs. This is fine. I think we could do fine with just a web conference with a Lotus Live account. It would be billed monthly to a credit card, which we have. It's the audio that I'm more concerned about. So I've got some other options to look into, but if anybody has ideas or suggestions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to look into it, or feel free to look into yourself and just keep me in the loop. Just let me know what you're doing and we can work together on this. But I'm still adamant about trying to come up with a solution here for the club. And I really want to make that happen. Just as a review, the reason why I want to do this is to help with our enablement activities. Being able to do training courses online for our membership, doing training courses for the public that we could offer. We can use it as a backup for inclement weather if we, for business meetings, which never happens in New England, right? So there's a lot of good reasons for doing this, and I think in the end we will find a solution, but it's not going to be as quick as I had hoped for. I think this is probably now likely to be a Q2 activity, but we will see. I still have a few weeks left, right? Okay. Live streaming, so where Tom is recording now. Now we don't have a live connection today, so he's just recording this. But we, iterative development. We learned some things from the last meeting, and we're working on those mainly with the audio, because a lot of you had provided feedback that it was cool being able to watch the meeting on the web afterwards, but it was hard to hear the audio. So hopefully we're fixing that one this month. We also made sure about some of the privacy information. So we've made sure we've talked to presenters about our permission to record them. So Mr. Snyder has given us permission to record his presentation tonight as well as to post it. We also have a proposal which we'll be looking at the officer meeting for some additional equipment just to help in some of the quality of the recordings and audio. And again, why are we doing this? Same reason as before. These are all things that can help benefit the membership in terms of knowledge transfer as well as convenience. If you can't make it to a meeting, you can still see the recording and watch the recording. Okay. NEAF is coming up. Northeast Astronomy Forum. NEAF. I was getting confused. So this is the big event. where most of you in here are familiar with, probably a lot of us have gone to this, but I actually have never gone to one. It's always conflicted. But this is really the mecca for buying equipment. You can get great deals. You've got every vendor there. Plus, there's tons of seminars that you can attend. So, for example, astrophotography seminars taught by some of the world-renowned astrophotographers. There's many things that you can sign up for. And then traditionally, NHAS is, a lot of people have gone there. And John has started a forum, where if people want to commute or try to pool up and, drive down together, you can start to make those arrangements. Just a couple of words of warning here. You might want to think about that one because it's very tempted to buy a lot of things. And you could just Google this if you want a lot more details. That's how I got that slide and put in there. Okay. Great topic to talk about during the break as well. So those of you that haven't been there, find someone, during the break that has, and they can tell you all about it. And you'll notice here too that there's some of the early birds like to get here. So I'm thinking this, all the meetings is not here. I'm thinking this is where Larry's been camping out for NHAS, so he can get all those sweet deals that he talks about each year. Okay, Aerospace Fest is coming up very soon for MSDC. Originally, or traditionally I should say, it's been a May event, but they've moved it to June this year. So I'd like Ted to, well actually before that, we finally have people that are heading it, so. And Ted, I put these on here for you, plus there's another slide. So why don't you go ahead and talk about that and just tell me when you want me to move to the next slide.
Sure. The Aerospace Fest is the kind of our Astronomy Day quote event that we usually do in conjunction with the McCall Shepherd Discovery Center. We have an indoor booth with a table for outreach and education. We hand out flyers. We show people stuff inside. We also, traditionally, folks who are interested in solar observing, either white light or H-alpha, set up on the lawn outside. We always hope for some clear weather. And I've seen as many as 15 solar scopes out there. And the public goes nuts walking around looking at all those beautiful images of the sun. So we love that. And we also help them a little bit by providing some volunteers to run the C-14 in their observatory dome. So if you ever wanted to be the person running the big dome telescope on the pier, you'll get trained, and all you really have to do is go up there and talk to the public who walk up the stairs to look through their scope. They have I think they have a 90mm blunt. So I put on the table some sign-up sheets. They'll be on the forum eventually, but for tonight, if you can sign up for either Friday night, which I think is orange, or Saturday, which is green, just write your name in a box or in multiple boxes, and we'd love to have you participate as an outdoor person. If you want to do that, come in and talk to people who come up to our booth, do demonstrations of scopes, help in the observatory, or we also have a Friday night sky watch. Sky is clear. We do a Friday night sky watch kind of. And doing it in June now, we're going to have to start that at like 9:30. Right. So we'll have an evening. They have from 5 to 7, 5 to 8. They have the Friday night open house. Their Aerospace Fest runs Friday night and all day Saturday. So we'll be manning the booth inside and doing a sky watch on Friday night if the sky is clear.
Is anything different now that they're not part of the government anymore?
They're going to pay us a lot less.
Really?
Zero, yeah, less than zero. No, they're very much appreciating us continuing to stay involved because their budget was slashed. They had to lay off a lot of people, and this is probably for them one of their biggest events to show to the public we're still here. So the more help we can give them, the better it'll be for all of us. So enjoy.
Well, one follow-up to that. We do have a conflict with this in that it also was the night of our June meeting. So recall that originally this was going to be a May event, but now since they've moved it to June, it does conflict. That wasn't of concern to me. Of Paramount, I wanted to work with MSDC and support them for this event. So I am sure we can figure out something for the meeting on that Friday.
Perhaps we can do that while we're waiting for the sun to set.
Right. I mean, so I'm sure we'll figure out something there. Exactly, and probably an abbreviated meeting. Well, I'm thinking an abbreviated meeting so we can do the Skywatch. Joel?
Yeah,
I think
same, have the
okay.
meeting there.
Yeah. So that's that. Since it would have been there anyways. So I mentioned that to Tiffany briefly, but I'll follow up with her. But I would say right now, tentatively plan on some short meeting followed by the Skywatch. But there'll be more details to follow as that decision is solidified. Okay. So moving on. So this was the traditional snow removal party. Now this year we had a lot of snow, so we had to get together the week before the marathon. A bunch of us go up to Larry's house and we help clear out the snow to get ready for the marathon. So this is the field here, and you can see we had a great turnout here. Several snow blowers plus this little one here. You want to take note of that for 1 second. This poor little fellow was kind of nervous here at the end, in the presence of all these big monstrosities, and I think the concern was valid because I think the larger snowblowers were a little hungry.
Hey, that,
So
that could have been a hybrid.
he became lunch for them. So just a fun event. We got very silly at the end there, and it was a lot of fun. And thanks to Ted, who was the person behind the camera, and David, who was like hiding behind here, camouflaged, providing the special effects for this.
We left out the red paint on the snow.
Yeah, I wanted to try to superimpose that, but I wasn't good with Photoshop, and I ran out of time. Okay, so the marathon itself, and by the way, nice picture, Tom. Panorama here of several pictures of the field while we were getting set up. But wasn't it wonderful? I mean, after so many years of being clouded out or snowed out, it was actually clear the whole night. I still can't remember the last year that was possible. But it was just a fantastic evening.
5 years ago?
At least. And
It's because I didn't buy those binoculars I was going to buy.
Yep, hold on to that thought. But if you recall back in February, we put a lot of emphasis on this, and I'm really happy with the way that turned out because there was a perception amongst particularly the newer members that this was kind of like, an advanced event. I'm not good enough to go, and wrong. I mean, we did a great job, I think, in squashing that message by the turnout we had. And everybody had a fantastic time. And thanks to Ed for putting together a wonderful presentation to really set up that messaging for us. And of course, the food was awesome, as usual.
Larry?
And I ate too much.
How many objects did people tend to get?
Oh, how many objects? That's a very strange thing. People didn't want to report very much. I think I'm going to put a chain up next.
Well, we all had a great time. That was the thing.
About,
so for the actual event, and also, maybe I should probably flick down the lights a bit here.
I've got like 5 reports or something.
Hopefully you can see it in a picture there. There's Orion. So Tom with another great shot at night. That's just a great picture, Tom. Nice job. And as mentioned here, the skies were clear because the blackout period. So see, the blackout period works. You cannot buy any optical instrument a week before the marathon. It's just standard policy now moving forward. I'll remind everybody in the fall and moving forward, but this blackout period will be in effect for every marathon moving forward. Okay, and once again, of course, thanks Larry and Linda for hosting us. Something that I personally look forward to every year, and I'm sure those of you that attended will be looking forward to next year's as much as I am.
Larry worked his butt off, learned snow, so.
Yeah, we had no snowstorm.
Yes. Winter is still upon us, at least for a little bit. So the other major thing that's been going on, and a lot of us have been taking pictures, and it's already been mentioned about the comet. So here's another nice one from Tom, taken from Pease Golf Course. You can see it right here, and got some background stars as well, which I thought was pretty cool because it looks like there's a lot of lighting here. So that's pretty cool. Dave, I assume this was from your observatory.
Actually, it's from my front walkway, because my observatory is at that level.
Oh, okay. So, because I didn't see it in your post, or either I missed it, so I took a guess there. But that's a beautiful shot. Look at the
great hand
look at the
shot.
tail. Gardner and Red Schuler got together near Manchester Airport. So there's a nice one.
That's a good place to go.
Here's another one. I like this one because the moon was also in there. So and here it is on the horizon.
I know what day it is.
Well, I was trying to find it on 13. Couldn't find it.
And this was actually my contribution. I was ecstatic. I went to Lake Massabesic, and Ted Printney was there, and Sean Walker showed up from Sky and Telescopes. I had never met him before, so that was kind of cool, being able to chat with him a few minutes. And I couldn't see it naked eye. I saw it through the binoculars, and when I did, I just lined up the camera, trying to use this as a landmark. And luckily, I got this shot. So.
Is that Sunday night?
No, this was a few weeks ago. It was a
Wednesday night, I think it was.
Yes, I would have to check for sure. But I posted when I did, so you could just check the forums. Okay, so moving on to one of our regular events, Astronomy Shorts. So those of you who have not been here for this is when it's basically round robin. Share something quick you think that'd be cool with the group. So, you know, I always started off, and Larry was asking about objects, so I got 67, Larry, at the marathon using the Star Master, and most importantly, I finally navigated the dreaded Virgo cluster. Took how many years, but finally did it. Okay.
So you're no longer a Virgo virgin?
Yes, that's right. Okay, who's up next?
My golly, everybody's
I
shy.
found
except
Wow.
40 Messier objects.
Yay!
All-time high
Did that all manual?
Oh, just a lot. I found 98.
I know, you hate those.
He found 98. I found the other two earlier.
Now, I remind you that the blackout period's been lifted, so normally people will like talk about some things that they've purchased here, but is that because we had a blackout period, so people are still getting
Oh, yeah.
in that?
No, they actually bought them, they just didn't tell you.
I'll say this. So I picked up, last year, I managed to pick up this Lustron X guide, which I've never had a chance to actually use. It's an auto guider. And the nice thing about it is it has a little LCD screen in the back, so you can actually see what you're using as a guide star. So unfortunately, I don't have a guide cable that works with my Tema mount, because that's going to be my portable setup. But once I get the cable from OPT, then I'll be able to give you more info on it. But it's a nice little unit, and I'll try to, if I can ever make it to a Skywatch, I'll try to bring it so people can see what it's.
Nice.
Oh, yes. There was a blurb somewhere about the comet fan stars might have broken up, and they showed a little dot in front of the picture.
Oh, really?
Have we heard anything more about the breakup?
I have not. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they just showed that here's an airplane going by, and here's the star trails going this way, but this dot stayed right
It's
there.
that spaceship everybody's been waiting for. since
Yes.
you
Oh, my
were-
gosh.
This is the second trip. Oh, heavens above without the hyphen. So no one heard anything about the comets breaking up anymore?
I personally have not heard anything. Has anybody heard anything on that?
Well, I saw the pan stars Sunday night, when I was at night, but then a night or two later, someone said it seemed brighter, and I wasn't sure, oh, it's breaking up, that's why, but I guess not.
I'm not sure.
Usually it breaks up when it's getting closer to the sun.
Yeah,
It's
'cause-
already
Yeah.
past perihelion, so it should be okay.
Just monitor boards. Ted?
Tom invited us up to the General Sullivan Bridge in Dover to see the comet 1 week and a half ago. And this guy sitting next to me, our newest member, got that invitation and managed to find it all the way from work down in Beverly, I guess. And we met him there for the first time. And since then, he and I have gotten together and done another observing from the parking lot of the Hampton Beach Police Station. We saw the comet again, so we've seen it twice. And I think we hooked him.
Nice.
What did the police say?
Cool.
I thought that might take an interest in his ways of it.
Yep.
Did everybody hear that the universe is between 80 and 100 million years older than previously thought?
Yes.
I saw a blurb about that,
It makes
yeah.
me feel much younger. 100 million years, huh?
Yeah, so what's that, like 1%?
Yeah, no less.
Oh,
You might want to take a look on the web at the
the SOHO, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory website. That's SOHO. If you Google SOHO and NASA, it'll pop up right away. And the thing you want to look at there is, if you navigate around a bit, there's MPEG movies that they have posted daily. They change every day, and it covers the last 2 or 3 days and you want to look at the C2 and especially the C3 coronagraph. The C3 coronagraph right now is showing the conjunctions of both Venus and Mercury, which are rapidly approaching. And so what you'll see in the view is you'll see the coronagraph itself, the sun with the paddle blocking out the solar disks so that you can see the long-range corona around it. And then this very bright thing that's causing pixel bleed through on the right, moving leftward through the animation, which is the planet Venus. And you'll also notice the stars moving in the opposite direction, and that's because, of course, the camera there is focused on the sun, and so as we in the spaceship move around the sun, the stars appear to move in the other direction. And over on the left, there's a fairly bright thing, much brighter than any of the background stars currently, that is very slowly moving towards the right, much slower than Venus, and the stars are actually catching up and passing it. And that is the planet Mars.
Nice.
Mars. Because if it were Mercury, it would be going faster even than Venus would, and it would also be going in that direction. There was a
Mercury earlier.
did I may have misspoke.
So Mars is retrograding, right?
Mars is, no, I think it's direct motion, but it's direct motion relative to the stars, but the stars are catching up and passing it because, of course, our revolutionary speed is faster than Mars's.
That also brings up the point that the Mars rover is going to lose communication with Europe because it's going to be behind the sun.
Well,
yeah, that's right. And so it should,
all
the
of
two
them.
objects, in fact, Venus just entered the C2 coronagraph, the closer in view, this morning. And so it'll be there for the next several days. Mars will take a lot longer to be there, but there will be one day when they kind of both pass. Venus going in front of, no, they're both going behind the sun, but Venus, of course, taking the shorter route. So that's pretty cool.
So to Dave's point, it wouldn't all the rovers, including Curiosity, lose contact?
Yes.
Is there any way they try to relay that information, or is it not? That's not even possible.
I don't think we have a deep sky
space network that's up. We have to get something else at some range point that has
Takes a large dish for that.
So they're probably frantically trying to complete as many experiments as they can. How long will they lose contact?
Just a couple weeks.
That's what I would think. They must record it and play it back later.
That's what I'm wondering.
At a faster rate.
If there's enough storage, who knows how much storage are on
I think
those?
it's more
As
like
much as they
put them
can
in a
put
safe mode, just tell them on such and such a time, call us.
Take a break. Ted?
Also on the Curiosity side, just before they had that A-side computer glitch, they completed the analysis of the first drilling and analysis of the powdered rock that was sucked up and put into the SAM and the Keeman. And you may have heard, I mean, we've heard, oh, there's water on Mars, there was water on Mars. When the later Mars rovers landed, the water that they found evidence of highly acidic water, not suitable for life. Curiosity just reported that the water that was in this John Klein area at the foothills of the Gale crater was water that you could have drunk if you'd been up there. It was completely suitable for life. It was probably a nice lake 2 or 3 billion years ago. But this is unequivocal evidence that if Earth-like microbes had been on Mars, they would have had a place to live and thrive.
Wow.
And that's big news compared to what we've heard so far.
A lot of implications there, Tom.
Along the same lines Paul was talking about, SOHO, NASA is getting ready to launch a new mission called IRIS that's going to be getting closer to studying the chronosphere and seeing why temperatures go from relatively low, 10,000 degrees, to millions in a short period of time. So that's happening soon as well.
How close are they going to go?
They didn't say.
Not too close.
Close.
Speaking of that,
Crazy. They're going at night, so they don't burn.
Yeah.
Clever.
Question?
Yeah, You'll have to get shy. She's very shy. In regards to Soho, a few days ago there was a massive CME. She was wondering if anybody might have seen the aurora effect afterwards.
No, it was too cloudy on there.
Yeah, I saw that picture. That was nice.
Was it?
It died out just before sunset, basically. It got up to like 7 or something like
Yeah,
that.
because we were tracking the CME on space weather, and it was reported it goes far south as Delaware.
Still never seen one. That's one of the things on my bucket list.
If anybody has a smartphone, they have a good app for aurora.
Yeah.
Paul?
There's another thing on the solar, this seems to be the good month for solar observing satellite stuff, because one of the other spacecraft that's up there pointing at the sun is SOHO's successor, which is called the Solar Dynamics Observatory, or SDO. And on the SDO website, they have a thing called kiosk movies that are taken every day. And if you look at them now, you get to see the sun rotating and all sorts of things zapping around in the lower corona and stuff like that. But you'll also notice that the picture appears to blink. That blink is an eclipse of the sun by the Earth from the viewpoint of the SDO. And it happens every month, every year in the equinoxes. So it happens for a period of several weeks surrounding the vernal equinox right now, and it also happens in the fall.
Nice.
And that's going on right now as well.
Isn't there two more looking at the sun called stereo?
Yeah. Yes, there are.
And they're changing their orbits. They can look at the back side of the sun.
Yeah,
and tell you what's bouncing off that side.
Stereo is located in such a place that the moon and Earth never block its view of the sun. But that's not true of the SDO.
We have to keep a close eye on that sun.
I've also seen partial lunar eclipses of the sun from the SDO's viewpoint.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a lunar eclipse coming up on, I believe, April 24th.
From the Earth or around the SDO? Oh, okay.
Sometime in April, it's supposed to be a lunar eclipse.
Okay. Anything else?
One minor point. When we have inhabitants actually living on Mars, there will actually be the possibility for seeing an Earth transit.
It's funny you mention that, because at dinner we were discussing that, and in particular how I thought when I was growing up in the 60s, we'd actually have people there now. So.
Well, the interesting thing about an Earth transit is you'll also see a lunar transit. So you'll be able to see 2 dots.
Oh.
One can only hope, right? Okay.
I think it's in like 80 years or something it's supposed to happen.
Did you get there by then?
To some degree.
More flag rags was here.
Okay, anyone else? Thanks for your contributions. One final thing before the break. So, kind of like open forum here. Questions, comments?
Is that
Anything on
fun
your mind?
collecting hydrogen atoms in space?
Well, I suppose you could think of it that way, but
collecting imaginary particles.
these hydrogen atoms, though, think of those as either ideas, comments, questions.
They should be different colors.
And we put them in here, and then from that, we may produce actionable results from that.
It's like thrust.
It's an astro martini.
Isn't it amazing how we have
It's a
different
ram
interpretations?
scoop. Everybody can
Yes,
see it.
everybody can see that.
It's an iPhone.
That's what I thought. It's Apple.
I like this because the I for ideas. That was mine. This is what happens when we have a room full of engineers, right? So,
We don't.
I know some of you have asked some questions prior to this, but is there anything else anybody want to ask about, or anything on your mind? And we could always talk during break as well.
What time does it get dark if the astronomy day is a month later? Someone supposed to say what time that's going to be?
It's going to be late. It's going to be like 9:30, because that's right near the longest.
They close their doors at 10.
Well, I guess they're going to be open later that night, but that's a good question. You have to clarify that with Tiffany. Do you know anything about that, Ted?
I know it's gonna be late, that's almost the equinox.
Yeah.
We would be out
And-
there.
The solstice.
And it's only twilight. So, I mean, what's it going to be, like 10 o'clock before it's really dark to...
So they may impact not extra solar hours.
We
Yeah.
started anti-daylight savings.
Yes.
Well, you know her, but it sounds like you may just volunteer.
Okay.
What you need to do is get the ship.
I'm just gonna move to Arizona where they ignore it.
There you go.
One day.
There's one other state too.
That's right, you can have a new astronomy day. It's called Anti-Daylight Saving Time Astronomy Day, and they move it back 2 hours the other way, so it's dark earlier in the summer.
Speaking of which,
Just for that night.
didn't we lose an hour with the marathon because
Yeah,
the
that's
time?
really cool. No,
Technically speaking.
Did that happen that weekend?
Yes, it
Yes,
did.
it is.
Wow. That night, actually.
It did. That night.
Stay up all night just to lose an hour, you know?
Here's the answer. Twilight's at 9:48 p.m. Civilian twilight's at 9:02 p.m. Astronomical twilight's at 10:45.
Excellent.
All right. So with that, I'm going to declare victory because it's 45 minutes, and that's how long I allocated myself at most to do this part of the meeting. So it is now break time. We can continue with our networking during break, and Mr. Greg Snyder will be up in 20 minutes.